What's going on, team? Keith here, founder of Skillbridge Network. This video is going to show you how to find a POC from the DoD Skillbridge site and how to find them on LinkedIn so that way you can send them a message. So sooner or later, you're going to come to that point to where you found your opportunity or 2 or 3 opportunities that you're interested in, and you want to reach out to somebody. And there are emails in the DoD Skillbridge site, of course, but you can take that 2 or 3 steps further and find them on LinkedIn and send them a message and start that networking opportunity so they have a face to the name. I'm also going to show you how to find a talent acquisition specialist or a recruiter or HR person just by doing a company search on Google and then going to LinkedIn and then finding that person that you need to reach out to as well. As always, remember 85% of jobs are filled through networking, right? So what I'm going to show you right here could be the actual keys that get you that job. Okay, so step 1, obviously DoD Skillbridge site. So let's click locations. Now, I am going to do this as a short example. This, obviously, there are a couple of thousand partners, right, that have actually applied for and have been approved through the DoD Skillbridge program. But everybody should be going to this site. You're looking at this site. You're finding out what you want to do that aligns with your goals, right? So just for the sake of ease, I'm just going to click 3D Glass Solutions. Okay, and that pops up the POC email, Phil Ferguson. Cool. So now let's go to LinkedIn now that we have that information. And let's search for 3D Glass Solutions. Okay, cool. So now here's what's great about this is that you can filter this down to all sorts of things, right? So I'm going to click people. Now that's 167 results right there. I don't want to scroll through all that. That's going to waste a lot of time. So let's click all filters and then scroll down all the way to the bottom. First name, Phil. Show results. There he is, right? So now you can reach out to Phil Ferguson and then shoot him a direct message, right? So now what's great about this is that you can send a personal message to Phil Ferguson, and he's your POC, and you could start it off by transitioning service member, and then Phil, I am due to separate or retire, whichever you're doing, right? From the military at this date. I'm very interested in your Skillbridge program. I was wondering if I could schedule a chat or a video call with you so we could talk about specifics. So there's an actual term related to this of what I'm showing you right now. It's called a professional introduction, right? So what the heck is that? Let's go to Google. Professional introduction. So the whole point of a professional introduction is that you are putting yourself out there. You're contacting a recruiter. You're contacting somebody from HR, talent acquisition specialist that works for a company that you want to work for in the future. And you can go to Google and you can type it in and use one of these templates. Just make sure that you say transitioning service member, you are separating or retiring, and then here's your date. So the time to really start doing this, in my personal opinion, is about 3 to 6 months before your Skillbridge start date. All right, so Skillbridge has exploded in popularity, but when you think about how many small businesses or just businesses in general that there are across the nation, right? Let's just do a quick search. Businesses. No, let's say how many businesses are in the United States. 60.5 million. And obviously that fluctuates plus or minus whatever percent as businesses are created and as businesses closed. There is no way, not even close to 60.5 million businesses on Skillbridge Network, right? But let's say that you want to go to a state in a small town or somewhere and work with a company that doesn't have a Skillbridge program. So in our case, I'm just going to pick Caterpillar. I think they have a really good veteran hiring initiative. So let's go Caterpillar and learn about their company, right? So scroll around, check everything out, go to their careers, go to their news, and just learn about their company culture. What are they trying to get after? Okay, cool. So you've done that. You've done your homework. So now it's time to come to LinkedIn. And just like we did before, it's just going to be a little bit different because when I go back to LinkedIn, I don't have a name, right? So I have to find somebody. So Caterpillar Inc. Okay, let's go to people. And then here you got this fancy little search bar, right? So there's 61,852 employees that work at Caterpillar. That's basically impossible to find the right person, right? So what you want to do is you want to type in recruiter. And then there's all your folks, right? And if maybe they live closer to you in your area, it might be better to reach out to them versus another recruiter. If it's a smaller business, they're not going to have recruiters, but they will have human resources personnel. I spelled that wrong. And then there's all your human resources people, right? So a large corporation is probably going to have what's called, they're called talent acquisition specialists or recruiters. And they work hand in hand with the human resources personnel. But smaller companies, think of like 100 or less employees, they're just going to have a human resources person. And that human resources person is going to be in charge of hiring and supporting a CEO or a manager with who they need to hire. And the HR person is the one that's going to bring the talent on board and review the resumes, and they're the ones that are going to do all of that stuff. So that's the big difference between a really small company and a big company. I've said it before, I say it in all of my videos, and I'm going to say it again, and that's that 85% of jobs are filled through networking. My personal opinion, and this is just Keith, is that if you are shooting your resume out and you're applying for jobs on a job board via a resume, I think that you're a step behind. You could get way ahead of that by just learning how to network and send out professional introductions on LinkedIn. So that way these HR personnelists or the talent acquisition people or the recruiters, they have a face to your name because you're commenting on their posts, and it kind of creates this long-term relationship that builds trust. So that way when you do apply for a position, they're already tracking. And not to mention that when they're posting jobs on LinkedIn, they pop up, you comment, and that connection is already there. Then you pretty much just bypass the whole resume thing and competing against a whole bunch of other people, right? Now, that's not going to be the case every single time, but I know from experience that this is a great way to get your next job, and it is a phenomenal way to find the right people to connect to get a great career, before you transition from the military to land that opportunity. This is how you network at its most fundamental level. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something from it. All I ask in return is that if you did, just give me a quick thumbs up so that way it helps the algorithm. But until next time, we'll see you guys later.